Hello and welcome to BISP Solutions. The today webinar is about the Fusion financial implementation, in which we will do the accounts payable transactional process based on use cases of BISP group. Let's move to the today's agenda. In day 5, the first agenda will be the create accounting entries and transfer to the GL. Then we will see the payables period close process. What are the process behind the period close in payables? Then we will go through the payables to the general ledger reconciliations. So these are the month-end processes which usually one consultant should do. Right, so creating account entries and transfer to GL. So let us move to the next slide. As per the business requirement, the automated offline method for payables accounting with a specific runtime, that is end of the day, and notification of same should reach to manager. That is the requirement given by the business user, that accounting should be done of payables, that is related to invoices or payment, should be done in a specific runtime. As per the case, they mentioned the end of the day. We will take a specific time schedule on that, and we will see that how the schedule is run and how the notification reaches to the manager. Right, so we will see that also in the application. So move to the next slide. For our test case related to automated accounting in accounts payable, first we will validate the invoices, we will initiate the approval workflow if enabled, and we will create accounting process. Right, so that is create accounting we will do, and let's move to the application and log in with the user credential. Right, so let us move to the application now. So log in with the credential. The user credential I have put. Yeah. So let us navigate to as the application has refreshed. So since it is a demo application, so we will enter certain invoices through ADFDI sheets. Quickly enter that and we will run the whole process. Right, so let us quickly create that. So navigate to the invoice workbench. From the task panel, create recurring invoices. We will select that recurring invoices and download the file. Let's open the file. ADFDI file, that is application desktop. Just hold on. Log in with the credential. Put the credentials. So it is a recurring invoice. We have downloaded the spreadsheet. So in this template, business unit, select the business unit. So my business unit is BISP Solution Miami, and I will put invoice number, that is Dell recurring slash the amount. I am putting the amount as $550, and the supplier number I will 1255. Select that, double click, just hold on. Double click. Supplier number I will select with 1255, that is Dell Inc. There we are, Dell Inc. Say OK. So I have already created a payables calendar, that is monthly calendar. In the previous session we have created a payables calendar, right? So, and after that we will select the supplier site, right? So that is supplier site. There we are. Double click. Not blank. I am selecting the not blank. Search with that. Select the site. The Dell US1 is the site. Say OK. Then we have to select the invoice currency, right? So that is invoice currency, and I will select invoice currency as USD. There we are. So I will select USD. USD, and the payment currency is a not mandate, but I will select that USD, and provide the description, that is monthly maintenance computer charges, that I am using a short form, charges, right? So I will select that monthly maintenance computer charges, and out here I will select a calendar, right? So select that. search. So I will select the monthly calendar. This is the monthly calendar I will select that monthly calendar. Let me select the period. So I will select a period that is January. That period is January 23. Search with that. I'm selecting the same. Say OK. And to period, I am selecting the August, right? So I am selecting the August period. (2023). Search with the year. So I am selecting out here as a July, right? So I will select the July, right? Say OK. And out here we will select the amount, right? So our amount is $550, right? So that is the line amount. We are selecting the line amount here, right? So $550, and we are not using any quantity right now. And provide the description out here in the lines. I'll provide the same. Let us provide the same out here, and we have to provide the distribution, right? So the account code combination, that is distribution combination or distribution set, any one of that thing you can provide. I will provide the distribution combination. Select that, double click and select that same. So account code is 53520. This is computer repairing expenses, right? So monthly basis, the recurring invoice is will create. This is the expense debit line, right? So that is account will be debited, and the liability account it will take from the supplier site, or if supplier site if it is not mentioned, then common options from, right? So it will take from common options. So other things look fine. Anything more? I would say yeah, it's okay now. So let us submit the same. Generate, select the generate. Say okay. So 7 recurring invoices has been created. Let navigate to the application and see the invoice, recurring invoice has been generated or not. Let's navigate to this application. Just select that 24 hours. Refresh that. So you can see the invoices has been created. So these are the invoices. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, yeah, 7 invoices has been created. The validation has not been done, and the account status is unaccounted, right? So it is unaccounted. Let open one of the invoice. So let us open one of the invoices, and yes, if I go to this status I want to see, so it will show the validation is not validated and approval is required, right? So other things are, holds are okay, installment line variance is not, no line variance is there, distribution variance is 0, no manual holds, no system holds, supply side is okay, no, right? So let us validate the invoices from the task panel. Validate the invoice, select that, validate the invoice. As per use case, we have to validate the invoice, right? So select that BISP Miami and the ledger, and if you want to select the from date to date, you can select that. I am leaving the blank, right? So submit the same. Or if you have a specific supplier or party, that you can put a criteria out here. So let us navigate to the schedule process to review our submit process. We will review the same from the schedule process. So workforce has been initiated and successful. Let us navigate to the payables workbench. That is payables work area and invoice workbench, sorry. application is running a bit slow. So you can see the status has been validated, right? So account status is unaccounted right now, right? So let us now it is in sub ledger right now. So we have to create accounting, then only the invoices will push, the data will push to GL, right? So let us do that. So what is the next step we had to do? We had to initiate approval, right? So that is the approval initiation. So we will select that and select the business unit. So that is BISP Miami, and my supplier is Dell, and specifying that particular supplier. So let me select the supplier Dell, search with that, Dell Inc, with the supplier number is 1255, right? So and submit the same. Let us initiate the approval process. So let us navigate to the schedule process to view the process. So let us select that. Here we are. It's running a bit slow right now. Let me check. Initiated workflow. Yeah. So let us navigate to that. Go to the invoice workbench. So just select that one of that invoices and see the status out here. So approval has been initiated, right? So now we will run the create accounting process. So this is offline method we are using, right? So that is the offline method as per the user test case. So as per the business requirement, the automation should be offline method for payable accounting with a specific runtime, right? So that is as per that requirement, it's end of day, EOD, right? So we will put a certain period out here, 2-3 minutes, right? So that we will do that. So how to do that in the application so that you will able to understand, right? So the create accounting, go to the create accounting, select the sub ledger as payables and select the ledger as BISP US, select that, and I'm putting the batch. I will select the batch as XXZ, right? I'm selecting this batch. So we will identify through batch. XXZ is the my batch, and you can schedule the process. So go to the advanced and out here the schedule, we will schedule that. Once we will select that and provide the time, right? So as per out here, I will select Indian time, that is IST, and let me select that time. Just hold on. Right now it's, let me select the time. And select that, say 10th of, right? So I selected that, and notification, right? So I will select the notification. I will provide the notification to the user, and the receipt is KC Green, and the condition I am selecting all. She is the manager, say OK. And another one is the user, right? So I am giving that also. If it is success, warning or error, it will give you the notification. So that is all I am selecting, right? So select that, the condition is there, and submit the process. So you can see the process number. Just copy that, say OK. So you can schedule that particular process, and through the schedule process you can review that, right? So let us go to the tools under the schedule processes and search with that particular process ID. The process ID I will put out here and search with that. So it has been started now, right? So it has been started now. We have given a very close time, right? So that's why it has been started. Ideally it will be waiting for, we are given only a 1 minute or 2 minute brief time, that's why it is running. It is in the process right now. So various processes are running. You can see create accounting sub process, posting to subledger journals, posting to subledger journal sub process, importing the journal to child and posting the journal, maintaining the payables trial balance report, right? So that is the last process. So everything has succeeded. Now the create accounting has been succeeded. Now we will navigate to the invoice workbench out here. Let us navigate from here, from favorite. I will select that. So invoice workbench. select the same, so recent. So you can see the status has been accounted, right? So it has been posted to the general ledger. So let us navigate to the general ledger, and we see we are provided the batch, right? So we'll search with that batch number, right? So go to the journal work area, and out here my data access is US primary ledger, and out here I will, through manage journals from the task panel, I will, with the journal batch, we have provided, that is, this is the journal batch, and delete that and search with that. Here we are. So journal batch has been created. So payables related entries has been passed, right? So it has been posted, and I will open one of that journal which has been get posted. So you can see the accounting has been done, right? So this is the INR ledger, real time. It is reporting ledger is attached to this primary ledger, and this is the BISP US primary ledger, right? So if you see, this is the entry. You can drill down to the payables. Here we are, the transaction. View the transaction. If you go to the view transaction, it will navigate to the entry page, that is payables invoice workbench area, right? So that is a good facility provided by the Oracle. You can review that. So done with that, we have created and see how to create the accounting, right? So that is, so what is the, now moving to the next topic. So let us navigate to the PPT. So monthly period closure activity in payable application. So while closing the payable period, there are some helpful reports to run that help in the reconciliation process, even though there is a plenty of other reports that can be used during the period close. The payables to the ledger reconciliation report is the most helpful reconciliation tool available because it allows the user to drill into the differences between the transaction and accounted activities. Once the user drilled into the differences, they are able to see the exact transactions that are outstanding and can be resolved the issues as needed. But first, important to understand the steps involved to close the payables module properly. So these are the steps you should follow. Ensure all invoices and the payments are fully processed. This eliminates the maintenance during the reconciling. Run the create accounting process to ensure that all outstanding items on the reconciliation reports are not there because of item has not been accounted for. If any invoices are sitting in interface table or need to be imported, push all the imported invoices through and complete them as necessary. By running the import invoice process will bring those invoices that have been sitting in the interface table or are needed for any event period balances. Ensure all invoices approval has been completed. if any pending invoices, there will still need to go through the remaining step process and account for them before closing the period. Next, you will to review some of the helpful reports that are available to reconcile, such as Payable Invoice Register, Payment Register, or Matured Bills Payable Status Report. So these reports will help you. If conversion rate are being used for multi-currency, be sure run the apply missing conversion rate process. The ensures that all foreign currencies has been converted rate applied by task name apply missing conversion rates. That is the task name through schedule process. Run the create accounting process again if they had to complete any of the previous step. It is best practice to run the process again to capture any new activities and post it to the ledger. Optionally, you can sweep any questionable transaction to the next period. This is only for issues that cannot be resolved before the closing period and needs to review again at the later date. The task name is Payables Unaccounted Transaction and Sweep Report. Again, it will be through schedule process. Then close the period, then run the payables period close exceptional report. This checks all for any that fails in the accounting process. Open the new period. Next, review the payables to ledger reconciliation report. This will show anything that could have slipped through the cracks while running through the previous steps, and mentioned before will allow you to drill down and see that the exact issues are. Review the trial balance, that there are few other reports that can run for reconciliation. They are listed in the period close folder in the reports and analytical work area. Run the create mass addition process. The push all invoices including capital assets to the fixed asset module. Review the accounting analysis report to ensure only necessary transactions are posted to GL. And finally, run the desired tax holding or 1099 reports related to US taxation. So these are the certain steps we had to follow while month and period close process. So let us navigate to the application and see where the reports can be run, what are the process behind. So we will see that. So let us navigate, and out here first you will navigate to the payables work area. So go to the invoice work area. from the task panel, so all invoices should be validated. Any approvals which are pending should be initiated for approvals. If any issues are there which cannot be resolved, can be swept to the next period, that you have to talk to the business user related to that, and after that you will run create accounting, right? So that is the create accounting, and after create accounting you will navigate to the schedule process. Through the schedule process, you will run certain reports, that is payable invoice register. I will just navigate to that. See payables invoice So payable invoice register, this is the one should run. The payables provide all detailed information about invoices. Run that, select that, say OK. So supplier, I am selecting invoice type, any of that. The period, I am selecting certain period, right? So that is the August period, right? So I am selecting the period or entered date, right? So if you entered the date, cancelled invoice only. If you want to select the parameters as cancelled invoice, unvalidated invoice, say yes or no. You can check it down with that. Unvalidated invoices, if it is lying, you can check with that parameters say unvalidated, so you can use this particular report for that. Or if you want to have any specific related to suppliers, then you can provide that also. If you have any groups related to that, or by entered by, right? So you can user based also. So there are different criterias, you can go with that. Or you can have a standard invoice, you are created with a standard invoice, right? So that invoices you want to see, right? So these are the various parameters. Let's review the same and let's submit the process. So payable invoice register, refresh the same, it is still running, succeeded. Select the same, scroll little down, you will get the report out here. So output, republish, select the same, and from here I am using the HTML, right? So I am using the HTML view. It's taking time. Just a moment. Let's take a PDF view. Still loading. Here we are. Download the same. So you can see the invoices which are entered, right? So these are the reports you can go through, the payable reports of invoice register, right? So it's providing you the invoice number and the description thereon. So we have entered the del, right? So let us find out with the del. Select with that. Why it is not showing? It should show. So these registers you can go through. I'm not able to see the. Okay, it is July, right? So we are still in the August. That's why we are unable to see that. Let me rerun that particular process, right? So we will see the del, right? So we have just posted that. That's why I want to see that. Reschedule that again. Payables invoice register. The last period is July, right? So that's why it is not showing up. Let's take its July 23, and I am specifying that particular supplier, right? So let us select the Dell INC. I am specifying that Dell INC. This is the supplier, right? So submit that process. Just review the same. We are just uploaded, right? So I want to see that particular report out here. So these are the various reports you can go through. So it is still running. So it gets succeeded now. Let us review the same. Go to the republish. Out here, export. Let's see in the HTML view. Here we are. So we have specified that. So it is showing that. Right, so MMC charges, just we have uploaded that recurring invoices, right? So that is the standard invoice. So that you can review through this particular report, invoices, and the pending for the different criteria. You can select that. So you can go with that particular reports. The pending for approvals are there. You can go through that. So there is another report you can view. Lot of reports are there. So some of the reports I am going through that, and rest of the things I have already explained. Payment register or maturity, go through that particular payment register. Say payment register, payment register. This is the payment register. Select that. So it provides the detailed information about the payments. Select that, say OK. So period I am selecting as we have not made any payment to the Dell, right? So we have entered the invoice and we have validated the invoice, approved the invoice, and then we have accounted the invoice, right? So let us see any previous payments, and the payment type is manual, quick. So various types of payment method, the display of the pay name, yes and no, addresses if you want. I am submitting the same as it is. Let's review the report of that. So if there is any bill maturity is there, the maturity bill payables status report, you can view that. So we have no bills payable related entries we have done, so you can run that particular report. View in HTML. So you can view that one payment we have released, that is one of the supplier, right? So that is the one. We have not run any payment of this particular supplier, that is Dell Inc. So some payment related to Midtown computer suppliers, right? So that payment has been released, right? So that is the process is there, and you can, in a multi-currency, you can apply missing conversion rates, right? So that process I will navigate to that. That is apply missing conversion rate. So you should update your daily rates to apply that particular apply missing conversion. So apply missing conversion rate to foreign currency invoices and payments. Select that and select the business unit, right? So business unit, select that. Select the business unit, that is BISP. I am selecting the same business unit. BISP Miami I am selecting, and then run the submit the process, right? So we have not entered any foreign currency related invoices, or we had not made any payments out here, right? So I will cancel the same, and then any unaccounted related to which cannot be processed during this particular period, then we can sweep that particular invoices or transactions to next period, next open period, that is payables, unaccounted transaction and sweep report, right? So the task is payables. Let's search with the sweep, right? Sweep. Here we are. So the payables unaccounted transaction and sweep report, or this is the related to receivables and this is the one, right? So payables and accounted transaction and sweep report. Select that, say OK. So you can see the level of the report is business unit, and the report context is, since I am selecting the business, then it will select the business unit. If I select the ledger, it will select the ledger attached to that particular business unit. So if you have a multiple business unit to that particular ledger, you can select that, right? So I have only one for the demo. I have selected this, and the period, which is period you want, that particular period, and sweep period. So next period, that is future interval period, you will enter that particular one, right? So that is the future interval period. So my next future interval period will be the September, and if I want to sweep now or no, if I say no, it will not sweep, and if I want to sweep, then yes, I will select the yes and submit the same, right? So that is the, which is unaccounted, and we are unable to account it this particular period. So it will shift to the next open period, and then we will have to run the payables period closure exception reports, right? So that is a very important report. One should see the payables exceptional report, right? So it is a very important report. One should go through, every consultant should go through this particular report. That is payables period close. Exception report, list of exception preventing the closure of the payables account period, right? So select that. Select the ledger. Select the ledger. So ledger is my BISP USPL, and the period I am selecting as August, right? So submit the same, say submit, review the report, just review the report, it is running. These are some of the reports you should go through, and last we will go with that prepared payables and general ledger reconciliation, right? So that report we should view, we should run that particular report, right? So let us, these are some of the reports which should one consultant should review, right? So I am navigating, and period exceptional reports. So there is no exception out here. If there is any error, it will provide the error details out here, right? So if there is any calendar is not open, the accounting has not been done, it will show up. So these are the things it will show, right? So that is the one of the report it will show. And last not least, we will prepare the payables to the general reconciliation, right? So that report we have to run. Just I am navigating to that. So let us, that is payables general prepare payables to general. So here we are, to prepare the transaction and accounting information reconciliation of Oracle Fusion payables to Oracle Fusion General Ledger. So select that, say OK. So request name, you will provide the request name. So I am providing the any request name 445, right? So that is the 445 I am giving, and select the business unit. This is my business unit, and the accounting period, right? So that is accounting period is my August 23, and include the intercompany transaction. If you have any intercompany transaction, then you can include that. Say yes, only intercompany transaction you want to view, then you can select the only intercompany, right? So if you don't want to include that, say no. I am leaving as a blank. If you include the payables, bills payables, if you have any related to bills payables related transaction, then you can include that also. So that is yes and no. We have not entered any bills payable related transaction. And the filter, right? So out here there is a filter. I will select the filter as account, and I will provide the let us provide that. So provide the accounts payable. So this is the account, right? So select that, say OK, and submit the process. Submitting the same and review the same. So waiting process is running. Sub process is running. So if you go to the hierarchy, the various processes running. So as soon as completed and successful, yeah, it has been completed and successful. Right, so you can review from here, right? So go to the payables work area. Out here the invoices. Select that, invoices, and the task panel. From the task panel, so running very slow, just hold on. Here we are, the payables to general ledger reconciliation. You will select that and view the reports from here. So that's it for the today, and that's it for today. Thanks for joining the webinar on AP related transaction process in Fusion application. Thank you for joining the session.